The Alabama Farmers Federation and the Alabama Farmers Cooperative proudly present Simply Southern with your hosts Jim Allen and Mary Johnson.
Good morning and welcome to Simply Southern. I'm Mary Johnson.
And I'm Jim Allen. Coming up on today's show, we'll travel to a garden in Alexandria where inmates at the Calhoun County Jail get a taste of hard work, freedom, and fresh vegetables.
Samantha Carpenter discovers a wildlife hospital tucked away in one of Alabama's most popular state parks. And Sydney Phelps joins us in studio today to talk about a number of things that will hopefully help you become a better backyard gardener.
But today's show begins in southwest Alabama, where a couple of hunting buddies out shooting the breeze were inspired to develop a pretty unusual business venture.
What one thing can you say about your local quality co-op store? You can trust us. You get what you need for your farm, for your lawn and garden, and the safest products for your pets. We're locally owned and operated, and you can trust that we care about our community and the people in it. So if you're a raised bed gardener, a rose gardener, or if you farm hundreds of acres, the Quality Co-op Store has exactly what you need to get the job done. All this plus friendly, knowledgeable advice. Your Quality Co-op Store. There's one near you.
Support healthy food from local farmers. Join the Alabama Farmers Federation today. Since 1921, the Alabama Farmers Federation has been the voice of farmers and rural Alabama, standing up for family values, good government, low taxes, and economic opportunity. The Federation has helped make agriculture and forestry Alabama's largest industry, accounting for 1 in every 4 jobs. Join the Alabama Farmers Federation today at any local Alpha Insurance office.
Today's farming operation is more complex than ever before, with precision agriculture becoming an integral piece to farm management. AccuField provides precision agriculture technologies and site-specific management capabilities in a simplified and interactive format, helping you put all the pieces of the farming puzzle together. For more information, visit us at www.accufield.com.
When AJ was born with a heart defect, we practically lived at the hospital. We weren't prepared for that. My Alpha customers, my Alpha family made sure we had everything we needed. Now I'm even more motivated to help take care of them. Who I am fits what I do. I am Alpha.
For the best agents in the business, call Alpha.
Some of our best ideas pop into our heads at the strangest times. Velcro is used in 1,000 different ways today. But did you know its inventor came up with the idea by picking burrs from his dog's fur? Well, for Clem Parnell and Thad Holmes, an early morning hunt and a family loss have given rise to a business idea that's definitely inventive and just a bit unconventional. Lee Reynolds has a solid reputation in South Alabama as an ammunition loader, but shells and bullets aren't exactly why we paid him a visit today. Lee, how'd you get started working with Clem and HolySmoke?
When Clem and them had this idea, they started checking around and asking other people that loaded, would they do this? When it come to putting the human remains in it, most all of them said no.
HolySmoke is a vision of longtime friends Clem Parnell and Thad Holmes, neither a stranger to the world of munitions.
Thad and I have shot ammunition and bullets all our lives. We were both prior military. We've been in the state game wardens. We shoot all the time. We're around people that shoot all the time.
The concept is a bit of an eyebrow raiser, to say the least. HolySmoke takes the cremated ashes of a departed loved one and loads them into any form of ammo you please. As you might expect, the idea came to the pair while enjoying a morning out hunting.
I had just buried a relative, and I was telling him how disappointed I was with how much money it cost to bury my brother. And he asked me, how did I want to be buried? And I said, I don't want people remembering me lying on my back. I want them to remember me while I'm vibrant, alive. But I think I'd like to be cremated and my ashes placed inside shotgun shells. And the last thing a big gobbler sees is me coming at him at 1,200 feet per second.
What started as a quirky business venture has since blossomed into a growing enterprise, drawing attention across the country.
We send lots of duck shots up north.
Do you?
Yeah, we've got several orders from Michigan in the past and places up that way.
They called us to say, hey, is this true? You really do this? We said, sure we do. One person in particular, we did him 10 25 round loads of shot to hunt doves with. And he told us every year he takes one box of shells out with his father, ashes inside. And he says, this one for you, Dad.
Even if shooting isn't your thing, the guys at HolySmoke offer display options such as jewelry, transparent bullets and shells, and colorful gun salutes. They've even handled requests involving beloved pets.
We had a lady call us about a house cat. Unfortunately, you cremate a 3 or 4 pound house cat and you don't have any ashes left. But we have actually loaded up 2 loads of steel shot for duck hunters of his dog.
But when you're running something of an eccentric business, it helps to have a sense of humor.
A gentleman who I won't identify shot his own finger off. And he wanted to know if he had that finger cremated, would I pull it in a bullet? He called me back a few days later and said he was going to preserve the finger and put it in a jar where he could watch it while he's out on the range shooting to remind him not to shoot another finger off.
Yes, folks, it may sound weird to you, but the guys at HolySmoke take their task very seriously. What took seed from a love of hunting and shooting has become much more for Clem, Thad, and crew, and in ways far more rewarding than just the bottom line.
Thad and I have made a bunch of friends, but what makes us so happy is to get that return letter from the family member thanking us to the point of tears for allowing them to spend a day with a deceased family member who used to love to shoot. Now they can go out and shoot with him.
If the services provided by the guys at HolySmoke appeal to you, you can get more information on everything they offer on their website. That's at myholysmoke.com. You know, people might make light of what these guys do, but they're really serious and really respectful.
It's a good way to take a very sad time and to help make a fond memory that you could look back on later. Up next, if you love birds, you'll want to stick with us through the break as Samantha Carpenter visits with a wildlife organization who's giving a hoot for Alabama's feathered friends.
Alabama soybean farmers help fuel the state's economy. Soybeans are used to make clean, renewable biodiesel and are a key ingredient in feed for poultry, catfish, and livestock. Soybeans are used in dozens of products we use every day. But best of all, soybean farmers generate $258 million and more than 4,000 jobs for Alabama's economy, all while helping conserve our natural resources. Explore the power of soy.
Support healthy food from local farmers by purchasing a Farming Feeds Alabama license plate. The tag funds education and promotion efforts, including Ag in the Classroom, agricultural scholarships, and youth programs. Get your Ag tag today.
Seriously?
Have some respect. Pick it up, man.
Did you just litter? Take pride in your school.
Pick it up, man.
Clean it up, dude.
Besides keeping your campus clean, adopt a mile with roadside cleanup. Attend the next Coastal Cleanup Day or pitch in on the annual Spring Cleanup campaign. Make a difference by picking up litter and
don't drop it on Alabama!
We believe a plant should be more than a plant. This one is. It's all you need for your garden to succeed. Because it's a Bonnie plant. It represents hundreds of varieties of Bonnie's quality veggies and herbs. But more, it's from generations of Bonnie people who are passionate about sharing their love of gardening with you. Look for this little Bonnie plant and a whole family of plants like it in your garden center. Bonnie plants, so you'll know how to grow.
The diversity of wildlife in our state ranks near the top in the nation, and many fine Alabama organizations are working hard to keep it that way. It's fitting that one of them would call Alabama's largest state park home. And that's where we'll find Samantha Carpenter this week as she introduces us to the Alabama Wildlife Center.
This is a big day for this red-shouldered hawk. Today, he's being released into beautiful Oak Mountain State Park near Birmingham, home to a leading advocate for wildlife in our state.
The Alabama Wildlife Center is our state's oldest and largest wildlife rehabilitation and education center. Every year, we rescue and rehabilitate and release back into the wild almost 2,000 of Alabama's native wild birds.
From its small home-based beginnings, the Alabama Wildlife Center has expanded its outreach across the state as the best hope for injured or orphaned birds. With only a handful of full-time employees, the center's reputation is truly remarkable.
Our release rate is substantially higher than the national average for wildlife rehabilitation centers. We have scores of incredibly dedicated, wonderful volunteers that allow us to do what we do, as well as a wonderful network of veterinarians.
While rehabilitation is its top priority, the center hopes to inspire and educate the public about the abundance of wildlife in our state.
The Alabama Wildlife Center provides educational programming for almost 30,000 Alabamians every single year. We offer off-site programming where we can actually take beautiful birds like Coosa, our barred owl, to schools, civic groups, scout troops all across the state and beyond.
We want to raise awareness of the need for responsible preservation and protection of the amazing wildlife resources that we're blessed with. When you want to see how Alabama stacks up against other states, you sometimes have to start at the bottom of the list and work your way up. Alabama is second among all the 50 states, second only to Florida in wildlife species diversity.
Visitors to Oak Mountain State Park can pay a visit to the center and maybe meet one of their education ambassadors, peek in at one of the residents rehabbing at their aviaries, and take in many interactive exhibits and displays. The Alabama Wildlife Center also hosts a yearly, week-long summer camp for 1st through 6th graders, offering an up-close view of many of the state's majestic bird species. No binoculars required.
It's a wonderful, completely immersive experience where the kids will have the opportunity to come and spend the day here with us at the facility. We have beautiful red-tailed hawks down there, great horned owls, and vultures, and the kids have a blast taking care of them.
Most of the center's patients are found by concerned individuals across the state, so ensuring the public has a better understanding of our state's bird species and habitat is ultimately in everybody's interest. From the soaring grace of a raptor to the brilliant colors and sweet songs welcoming our mornings, our feathered friends are part of our landscape that's easy to take for granted. The Alabama Wildlife Center's mission is to make sure that we don't.
What we can do is build a connection between our citizens and these wildlife resources. Through those kinds of connections and appreciation for our wildlife resources, we may in fact be able to save species and ensure that these majestic animals are here for our children and our grandchildren.
For Simply Southern, I'm Samantha Carpenter.
Next year, the Alabama Wildlife Center will celebrate its 40th anniversary. They're hoping to expand, too, to add some interactive exhibits and video monitors so that people could watch their rehabilitation efforts.
How many people get to release a rehabbed hawk back into the wild?
I would say not many. Samantha got to mark something off her bucket list. After the break, the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office has an innovative project that helps save on grocery bills, but also teaches inmates about responsibility and hard work.
Alabama wheat and feed grain farmers grow food, fuel, and freedom. Their harvest helps feed Alabama's multi-million-dollar livestock, catfish, and poultry industries while reducing America's dependence on foreign countries for energy and food. By combining their strength with farmers of other commodities, feed grain growers are fueling the economic growth of Alabama communities.
If you asked Alabama school children to draw what they ate for dinner last night, where would the food have come from? Was anything nutritious? Did it build muscles? Did it strengthen minds? Was the meal enough, or was it missed? Across Alabama, 1 in 4 children don't always know where their next meal will come from. But together, we're changing that. Join the movement to end child hunger in Alabama, because every meal matters.
Nothing brings the family together like U.S. farm-raised catfish. American catfish farmers are dedicated to producing a premium, healthy catfish with a consistently mild, sweet flavor. Because we take as much pride in our work as you do in your cooking. From our family farms to your family's table, you can be sure you're getting the highest quality fish. Because your family deserves the best. U.S. farm-raised catfish.
There's something about eating fruits or vegetables you raised yourself that makes them taste a little better. Maybe it's just knowing the hard work it took to grow that produce, or the enjoyment of being out in God's creation. For over a decade now, inmates at the Calhoun County Jail have gotten to experience the work it takes to grow a garden and the satisfaction associated with providing food for themselves and others. On a 90-degree summer day in Alexandria, select inmates travel from the Calhoun County Jail to a 2-acre garden to work out in the heat. They weed, water, string up tomatoes and beans, and harvest vegetables that the jail kitchen staff will use for meals.
I like fried green tomatoes. Getting some fresh cucumbers. I'll take and pick me a few cucumbers and stick them down in the ice bucket. And when we get done, I'll eat me a fresh cucumber.
Even though it's hard work in sweltering Alabama heat, Kennedy said the garden is better than his alternative.
It gives me an opportunity to get outside the jail, get some fresh air, sunshine, and do something productive. I'd rather be out here than sitting in jail. This is just the closest thing to freedom I have right now.
Those approved to work in the garden must pass a screening process and are classified as nonviolent offenders. But county jails are often revolving doors, which makes it tough for Officer John Gordon, who oversees day-to-day garden operations, to keep a full staff.
A lot of the people we get out here aren't in here for very big crimes, so they don't stay very long. Usually they end up satisfying their sentence, or they bond out, and then we're down to 2-3 people, and then we'll hire some more.
Officer Gordon has worked at the garden for 2 years. Without a background in farming or gardening, he relies on assistance from local farmers, including Doug Trantham.
I didn't know anything about it. He's helped me along the way. He's gave me a lot of insight. He just kind of lets me do the maintaining while he makes sure everything's in order and ready to go. So without Doug, I couldn't have done any of this.
Trantham stops by weekly to check on the garden and give tips to Gordon and the garden workers. For the past 2 years, he's donated time and equipment to till the ground and plant corn and beans.
We get to talk to those guys one-on-one when we're working with them, kind of show and tell them, there's better things to do instead of, be in trouble all the time. And, kind of teach them how to work, how to do things, and just, maybe redirect their lives. So, that's satisfying to me.
The garden project started almost 10 years ago under the guidance of Sheriff Larry Amerson and Chief Deputy Matthew Wade. Jail Administrator Eric Starr has been involved since the beginning.
We're putting inmates to work. The community likes to see inmates working, not sitting in jail, sucking up air conditioning and TV. So it's a positive on that end, and it's also a positive budget-wise. We somewhat supplement our food budget at the jail, and that keeps from spending some of the taxpayer dollars on our food budget.
While the garden is good for public perception and the budget, Starr said the real impact he's concerned with is changing the course for inmates stuck in a cycle.
A lot of our folks are inmates that come through, or this is the lifestyle they know. They come through, they go home. A few months later, they come back through. And it's just the lifestyle they know. We show them a different lifestyle out here, show them they can be productive, Some learn they can be productive, and it stops that revolving door for just a few of them. And if we can stop just a few of them, we've done something.
And that's the goal for all the inmates who come through, including Kennedy, who said he's learning a different way.
I feel at ease, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm contributing to something. I feel like I'm a part of something, which makes me feel good about myself. And that's something I want to continue to apply to my life.
This summer they raised vegetables at the garden, and a majority of the seed was donated by Cane Creek Community Gardens.
You know, that whole project is an excellent idea. Can anybody buy the produce?
No, they can't, because it's inmate labor, so they can't actually profit off of inmate labor, but they can use everything that they harvest in the jail kitchen.
Wow.
So it helps save a little bit of money that way.
Yeah. When Simply Southern continues, Sydney Phelps from Bonnie Plants is back in the studio with us to talk about some important considerations for your backyard garden, whether you're a beginner or a seasoned veteran.
Taking care of your children is the most important thing in life. My husband had taken out a life insurance policy. I knew that my children were going to be provided for.
My sister and I both were able to go to college with the life insurance that my father had purchased from Alpha. And now I feel the need to protect my family the same way that my father protected us.
Joseph's got a policy with Piper now. That's 5 generations, all with the same agent. And Alpha's the only place we want to be.
For service and savings, call Alpha.
There's nothing quite like sitting down to a home-cooked meal with fresh vegetables from the garden. With Bonnie Plants from your local quality co-op store, you can enjoy the freshest vegetables right from your own backyard. And no matter if you're a raised bed gardener, a rose gardener, or if you farm hundreds of acres, your quality co-op store has exactly what you need to get the most out of your plants. You'll always find what you need, plus friendly, knowledgeable advice at your local quality co-op store. There's one near you.
Support healthy food from local farmers by purchasing a Farming Feeds Alabama license plate. The tag funds education and promotion efforts, including Ag in the Classroom, agricultural scholarships, and youth programs. Get your Ag tag today.
We believe a plant should be more than a plant. This one is. It's all you need for your garden to succeed. Because it's a Bonnie plant. It represents hundreds of varieties of Bonnie's quality veggies and herbs. But more, it's from generations of Bonnie people who are passionate about sharing their love of gardening with you. Look for this little Bonnie plant and a whole family of plants like it in your garden center. Bonnie Plants, so you'll know how to grow.
Well, folks, we've got Sid Phelps with Bonnie Plants out of the garden and in the studio again today. Sid, we're ready to rip out the grass and put in a vegetable garden. Tell me about positioning a garden in your backyard.
Position is everything. You want to make sure that you've got a good area that's set up to have great early morning sunlight because when you water, you want to make sure that you are watering first thing in the morning. So as that sunlight comes in, it's really taking the moisture on out and working it through. But positioned up to the east is critical. That way you get the flow as the sun goes towards the west. You're getting a full spectrum of sunlight into the garden. So you want to have that, and watering is everything, of course, at that point to make sure that the sun's able to evaporate any excess as it goes through.
You mentioned watering in the morning is really important. What are some of the best irrigation techniques that you could use for a garden?
It really depends on the size area that you're using. I mean, if you're using a small space, it gets as simple as using a soaker hose. You can set up a soaker hose on a timer. You can get, just basically 15 minutes in the morning, because the most important thing is you want to water the base of the plants. You don't want to water the actual leaves. So if you water the leaves, especially here in Alabama, the high humidity, that tends to cause disease. So you don't want that, and of course if you're hitting it during the daytime hour, it can also cause scald as it blisters. But early in the morning, your water hose temperature is going to be cool, so you don't have to worry about the heat build up and letting the cool water flow through. But you set that up with a soaker hose on 15 minutes because a garden needs about an inch of water during the growing season to produce. Just figure that per week you need to make sure you're getting at least an inch of water. But soaker hoses are great ideas. I don't like sprinklers, mainly because you're spreading the water around the leaf base and it's not soaking in. Other than that, is just the old-fashioned way of going out there first thing in the morning with just a hand water and making sure everything's soaked in really well. But now, talking about planning for your gardens, Jim, I know you do tropicals and all sorts of things, and me on the vegetable end, that's a whole nother world to me. But what do gardeners really need to be looking for as far as like sunlight and temperature? Has got to be a key part of that, I'm sure.
All right, with a lot of tropicals, in nature they're growing under the canopy, so they might not get but an hour of sun a day. They just need filtered sun, unlike vegetables that need at least 6 hours a day.
Right.
I use you prepare the soil pretty much the way you do for vegetables. A lot of organic matter, but I use a whole lot of nitrogen fertilizer for these tropicals and to make them really big, and a lot more water than you would use on most vegetables. I'd probably put 4 inches a week where you put 1.
And the thing with fertilizer, of course, with vegetables that people should know is whenever you're fertilizing, we recommend that somebody fertilizes every 7 to 10 days. High nitrogen's good, but when it gets time for your plants to really start producing, you want a good phosphorus to boost the blooms and have a great kick out with your garden.
It's an interesting feeling to be the brown thumb in between these green thumbs here. So glad that you guys have the expertise that you're willing to share with us. Thank you, Sydney, for being here. And if you have a question for Sydney, drop him an email at simplysouthern.tv@alafarm.com, and it may be featured on an upcoming show. You can also consult bonnieplants.com or their mobile app, which is Homegrown with Bonnie Plants.
For more information on other stories we featured today, check out their websites. If you want to send a departed loved one off with a bang, visit myholysmoke.com to find out more about the services the guys offer from their headquarters in Southwest Alabama.
For more information on the great work they're doing at the Alabama Wildlife Center at Oak Mountain State Park, visit awrc.org. And to see more of the Calhoun County Jail Garden, follow the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office on Facebook.
While you're there, go ahead and like the Simply Southern Facebook page, and you can watch previous shows by visiting our website at simplysouthern.tv.net. Be sure to join us again next Sunday morning when we'll meet Alabama's outstanding young farm family.
Plus, we're off to Space Camp with some of the brightest, most enthusiastic teachers in the country. Thanks for watching Simply Southern this week. I'm Mary Johnson.
And I'm Jim Allen. We'll see you again next Sunday morning.
Simply Southern is a production of the Alabama Farmers Cooperative and the Alabama Farmers Federation.